Language acquisition is about how we learn a language. When we produce a sentence, we are essentially making a string of sounds that has meaning. If we all speak different first languages, does that mean babies from different cultural backgrounds learn languages in different ways? Quite the contrary. While they do show some differences in perceiving and pronouncing sounds or words from a certain stage, babies from around the world generally share the same stages in their language development.
What are the first sounds that we hear from babies? Yes, they're crying, but how do they go from that to producing meaningful sounds? The babbling stage is a milestone in a baby's journey to learning how to speak their first language. It typically begins at around 6 months of age and continues until about 1 year old. One intriguing aspect is that the babbling stage is universal. There can be 2 types of babbling. The first are sounds that are repetitive, like mama and dada. The second are sounds with syllables that are a little bit different, such as mommy and papi. Also during this stage, babies start paying attention to the sounds that they hear. It happens naturally without them consciously trying to learn. A study found that the way caregivers respond to a baby's babbling has a big impact on how their babbling develops. For example, if the babies hear French a lot, they might babble with a rising pitch, which is more common in French. And if they're usually exposed to Korean or Japanese, they may not be able to respond to the differences between L and R sounds. What happens after babbling? Babies enter the one-word stage at 1 to 1.5 years of age. Since they have the ability to perceive more sounds than they can produce, they may consistently and systematically substitute one sound for another in their own utterances. A typical example is that babies tend to keep the B and D sounds and drop the second consonants in a word. Drop may become da, and brush becomes bu. Words that start with the S sounds also seem challenging to babies at this stage, so they would say mo to mean small and dai for sky. Because of this, it's not always easy to tell a baby's first word apart from a babble.
The 2-word stage comes about sometimes between the 1.5 years and 2 years of age. This seems to be the first indication of the fact that language is structured, that is, that it is a system of multiple components and not just single words. That is because the child now combines the previously acquired words, so instead of saying mom when looking for its mom, it would now maybe express mom kitchen. Yet, because this is a 2-word stage, the true meaning behind such 2-wordy expressions may still be hidden from others, as mom kitchen could mean multiple things. For example, the child could be trying to say that the mom is in the kitchen or that it wants its mom to take it to the kitchen. The 4th and the last stage of language acquisition is the so-called telegraphic stage. This last stage can be very similar to the previously mentioned 2-word stage, except it will contain more items which would still not be as elegantly connected. In other words, the lingual fragments of the child's expression could remind one of a telegraph-like communication. For example, the child could now say, "Mom, kitchen, get cat," to express that the mom went into the kitchen to get the cat. Therefore, the true meaning of the sentence could still be quite ambiguous in terms of interpretation, but because there are now more elements of words involved, the meaning may be clearer as compared to, for instance, the 1-word or 2-word stage. Lastly, as future parents-to-be, or just out of general curiosity, we might be eager to ask the question, how can we enhance word acquisition? A somewhat recent study by Kutsirkova and others from 2014 asked this question in the context of how personalized items would be remembered in comparison to non-personalized items. The results indicated that children around the age of 3 better remembered the contents of the book, that is, the words that were personalized to them. Based on this study, we would recommend educators and parents, or any who is working on a child's linguistic development, to try and make new contents personalized to the child. We hope you now have an essential understanding of the phases of word acquisition, and we kindly invite you to check out the videos made by our classmates as well. Thank you!